Hi, I'm Wayne Tuttle. Welcome to the Dutch Hunter Rendezvous. If you're not here, you're missing out. 2023, the 19th annual.
Well, I'm up here at Don's Camp. That's what they call this place, the backside of the Superstitions. They have this big treasure hunters rendezvous every year. I keep saying every year I'm going to make it. But this year for sure, I made it up. So we're going to meet a lot of interesting people. We're going to hear a lot of stories. I need to take a little tour of this place just to get see what's going on. We'll probably start with that, but hey, want to thank you guys coming along, sharing on these adventures, and this is definitely going to be another adventure. We'll go find Jacob Walsh's lost gold mine. At least maybe we'll hear stories of where it's at.
Hey Jack, how you doing this morning?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
I'm not too bad with my morning pizza. What I'm going to show you is the Don's Camp. I'm going to show you the area, and I'm going to show you something that, a little plaque that they made for Jacob Waltz, who is the Dutchman.
Cool.
This is presented to the Dons of Arizona. Okay, the Dons of Arizona is a club that put this camp together quite a few years ago. This plaque is dedicated October 27th, 1990. This here's a plaque that was dedicated to Jacob Waltz, the Lost Dutchman, Jacob Waltz, to commemorate the legend of the Lost Dutchman gold mine and the life of Jacob Waltz, presented to him by the Dons of Arizona. And you'll see up here, you're going to see it's in concrete, but you're going to see Jacob Waltz, imprinted in one of the bricks up here. Over this way, across.
1957. Holy mackerel. It's been here a while. Look up here. You guys got everything up here.
That's awesome.
A pile of rocks there.
Hey Jack, I want to introduce you to a man that works at the museum over here in Apache Junction, a guy by the name of Steve, and man, I'll tell you, he's got a lot of stories. Hey Jack, this is Steve, Jack Tucker.
Hey Jack, how you doing? Great.
Hey, I heard you got some cool stories to tell.
Well, yeah, there's a story about the little people. You know, they've been inhabiting this mountain, from what I understand, since the beginning of time, since this volcano has been here. Back in 2018, we had a guy from the Bureau of Land Management, his name is Jason, was up on his horse patrolling the area in about 5 miles inside the interior off the Peralta. And while he was coming around this ridge to work his way down to the basin, he sees what he thinks is a naked little kid running around. And immediately he's angry. Because what parent in their right mind would bring a kid out here and then let him run around naked? So he's yelling down at this kid from his horse. But his horse started acting funny immediately, which is something out of the norm for his horse. And so he dismounts off his horse, which is acting crazy, and he's trying to work his way down to this kid, calling out to this kid, "Hey kid, hey." So he's starting to work his way, and this thing, it rounded a corner around these rocks. So when he gets down at the bottom, he doesn't see it anywhere. He spends a good half an hour yelling, looking around for this little child. When he couldn't find it, he starts to go back towards his horse and to look for the parents of this kid and jump their behind for even taking him in here. But it was when he was going up to his horse and he was trying to get up there quick because his horse was rearing, acting really crazy. So something, I don't even know why, but I turned around and there it was, staring me down. And he goes, that's when I realized this was no child. It had a wrinkled face, jagged teeth, and fingers with long, looked like claws at the end of it. But what was creeping him out, it was holding what looked like to him like a spear. And that's when he realized this was no child. And he said fear came over him immediately. He's actually scared for his life. He draws his revolver. At the same time, he's trying to work his way back up to his horse, which is also going crazy from this thing. And, you know, and he gets on his horse and he gets the hell out of here. He goes back up to the Peralta trailhead, loads his horse up on the trailer, goes back up into Superior to their headquarters. And he's telling his boss what he encountered. But at the same time, there's 2 Apaches there that share the office, the reservation police there. They overheard his conversation about this little person. And the Apaches came in there, interjected, and they goes, hey, I don't mean to interrupt in your conversation, but you're talking about you encountered a small little person up here, and the way you described it, because you didn't get close to it or do anything. He goes, no, I was too scared. And he goes, great, you don't want to mess with these things. These things can get in your head. And he goes, second of all, they've been known to be cannibals, and they have superhuman strength. They could tear you apart. And he goes, don't ever, if you ever see these again, don't ever encounter, leave them alone. And hopefully you get out of there in one piece. And that is actually from the person, Jason from the Bureau of Land Management, and that was just a few years ago. And these are just one of these stories. You had a lady that was actually attacked by a reptilian in a cave up here off First Water, past the massacre grounds. She actually was in a cave just to relax in the shade and drink some water. She hears a noise behind her in that cave. She looks. Originally, all she can see is 2 red glowing eyes, and then this thing moves out of the shadow, and she can see what it is. Before she even had a chance to get up, complete on her feet, this thing came and knocked her to the ground. It's standing over her. She said it was dripping like saliva or something out of its mouth on her, and she said that was the last thing she remembered. But what was really frightening about this story, when she wakes up, she's in her car, not even knowing how in the hell she got in there. And a lot of people were questioning the truth of this story until Jeff Surdy, who used to be the mayor of Apache Junction for about 4 or 6 years or so, he contacted me because I posted that story, and he told me it is real. I know the girl. She's a good friend of mine. And, you know, Jeff Surdy now is a county supervisor, is going to be running for U.S. Congress here in a couple of years. And he came out there and he was chatted back with this person that was questioning. He goes, it did happen. And she still has the physical scars. When it tackled her, when it pressed her down, the bruising didn't go away for almost 6 months. And she said this thing came back and visited her before at her home. She woke up and this thing was standing at her bed. Wow. From what she described, she thinks it was trying to mate with her. Wow. It's really a creepy story. But when you listen to the people that know her and actually know it did happen, and they came out to defend her, you go, no, it did happen. This is, you know, so there's a lot of a lot of strange things in this mountain. They're up here about a mile up the road, had an encounter with a little person. You see him running through the grass. There was like tall grass. You could see the legs of him running. And then after it stopped, immediately started throwing rocks, little small rocks, trying to scare people off and stuff. So, I mean, so yeah, this mountain has been riven. This area in particular, which is fascinating, I didn't know, a lot of sightings have been seen here where we're at. Reptilians have been spotted up in here, right before the interior. So this place is some place that you've got to be careful if you're walking around at night or day by yourself. It seems like people that are by themselves are more of a target. Maybe because you are by yourself. And these are the ones that usually have incidents happen where you never see them again either. So yeah, this mountain, this place can get creepy.
Do you know where we're going?
Yeah, we're going that way.
Oh, okay.
That way.
I'll tell you what, man, that was some creepy stuff there. We better be careful walking around up here, I know that. I better go get a gun. We should have brought guns first. Oh no. I hope we don't run into any snakes along this trail here. That would kind of suck. Well, here again, I don't know how I keep getting myself roped into this crap, but here on again. I'm trying to find some cave, I think. I don't know. Robert's leaving me astray again. You never know. Here we go. They like to grow these cacti big here in Arizona. Oh, there's a sign there. Superstition Mountains. Hey, I got 2 questions for you.
Yes, sir.
One, where's the gold at?
They won't.
I know you've been asked that a million times.
And
The
he
other
doesn't
one,
know.
supposedly there's a cremation cave or crematorium cave or something.
Know nothing about the ladder, the gold. If you shoot me, it's there. There.
Okay, that answered those questions. Well, so we walked up to where it forked in the road, you know. I didn't see the fork though, but we did walk up to the fork in the road. Generally there was always a fork. Somebody sticks a fork in the ground whenever you come to these forks. But we walked up there and then it forked. And there was a ranger guy there, and we asked the ranger, Mr. Ranger guy, have you heard of this cave? He said, never heard of the cave. So we said, well, did you hear of little people? He said, never heard of little people. So got the impression he doesn't want to talk to us. So since we don't know where we're going and never heard of this, we're turning around and heading back to camp. So this was supposed to be the cave, maybe where they burnt the bodies at. And it's dark and black all the way up. They're saying you touch the walls in oil. I'm not touching because I don't want no spirits coming with me.
We don't touch nothing.
But,
Not good.
wow, freaky. You know, being in the superstition, you don't know what the hell you're going to come across out here. Well, that was sure a fun little hike. Tell you what, I think it's time to go relax now. We better go have some cold drinks after that hike. I think we got on a wild goose chase there too, a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's about right.
A lot of different stories of what went on up here.
Too many stories to chase down.
Yeah, I was scared of those little people jumping out of the bushes at me though. Yeah, an old adobe building. Gotta watch for when you get in these places. They're cooler, and that's where the snakes like to hang out at. So you gotta watch for snakes when you
Snakes?
get close to these
I'll
things.
wrangle those snakes. Where are those snakes at? I'll wrangle them. I'll get them.
What they put sticks in between the old cactus bones right there. Yeah, in between the.
Well, back in the day, that's what they had.
Yeah.
What they had to use.
There's no rebar. That was their rebar.
There's no rebar. There's no freaking real wood.
Oh yeah.
There's Ocotillo.
Oh yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah, with
Wow.
adobe.
Wow. You say this one's older? Wow. Old log cabin.
There should be a bunch of
Just storage in there now, I guess.
beautiful place.
Oh, this is nice up in here. Wow.
It's really nice. It's beautiful. You got shade. You take your girl up here, you know, or if you want to read a book, you're out here in the shade. It's really nice. And I'll show you old hitching posts that they kept.
Oh.
The horse hitching post. See, we had this. That's all been, that's a rock wall. I mean, it does have cement, but you know, they just boarded it all in, and you know what? Around here, there's probably gold bars underneath these boulders.
Looks like a trail right there going up.
Yeah.
An old trail.
Yeah, one right there. Let me show you the
The
old,
old hitching
post.
post. Huh. What's that? Oh.
It's fire brick, okay? It is laced with chicken wire. Okay, this is obviously real modern, okay, with the adobe. And these would be used for smelting gold.
Is there a vault right here? Iron doors. Holy mackerels.
Oh, what do you think this might be?
Yeah,
Why
this-
do you need a vault at the Don's camp?
Really? And built right into the friggin'
Right into
rocks.
the rock.
Thanks for the little tour there, Robert. Appreciate it, man.
No problem. You know what I mean? Hello, what's up? We'll get the drum on there. Oh, yeah, go ahead. You got my information. You're gonna throw that bag down, somebody's gonna take it. Well, it may go crazy right there because there'll be gold there.
I got my own rod, my leg.
Hold one right here in front of it like this. Get right here in the middle of it, right over the top of here. Hold one of them right in front of it like this. Get like this. Now slowly, just pull your hand away from it.
Well, there's a lot of different activities will be planned this weekend, so we'll kind of go in and out of filming and stuff like that, but I'll bring you a lot of the different things and some of the speakers and stuff like that, and it's be like a 3-day thing, I think. Going tonight they're supposed to be doing some type of ghost hunting stuff or something. Anyway, you never know what's going to go on when you're inside the Superstition Mountains.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch more of them. I'll make them up. I got a better idea.
Oh, ain't that cool? It's just like the three. I was going to say something bad, but
Three Stooges.
yeah,
Wait a
that'll
minute.
work.
Is that better?
There you go. That's good. Of the superstitions at nighttime, you never know what's going to go on. Look at this infrared. Look how hot that mountain is. That mountain is one hot mountain. Is that putting off some heat or what? It's cold up above it. Nice and cold above it. But look how hot that mountain is right there. That is one hot mountain. Well, I guess it's time we break out some equipment and go see if we can hear any ghosts talking to us.
That's not Sal. Right here. And he was staying the night, and he kept hearing like shuffling and tapping on his window. And then he would wake up and he would open the door and take the flashlight, and there was no one out there. And he'd lay down again and he'd hear tapping on the window.
Oh, crap.
So, but he never saw anyone out here. So, Mike McChesney. He called me the next day, I think, to tell me, because he wanted to know, did anybody ever die up there? Has ever anything happened? Why am I hearing this weird noises? Okay, whatever. God, I needed a tutorial every time.
I'm here to get you. Get ready, baby.
Nothing.
Okay, well.
Is there anybody here you want to talk to? What was that? Is there anybody here you want to talk to? Sal's scared of you.
Yeah, baby.
Who is she?
That's not. That's all just gibberish.
Oh,
When it's clear, you'll tell. No. See, that you can tell when it does that.
That was a no.
okay.
So it's not Rick. Does Sal know who you are? That's weird. It's totally dead silent.
Oh, you time to figure it out.
Yes.
Right.
Did he say yes?
So I believe in this stuff so much. And he was seeing lights down here and thought the Dons were in camp. So what he wanted to do was come down and see if the Dons were here, what was going on. And every time he came down for a couple nights, there's nothing here. So then he came down to the big Ramada where we were inside here, and he could see little lights up here by the Navajo Hogan, but nothing illuminating people, but he could see the lights moving around. And they went around behind the Navajo Hogan around the big rock. So we're gonna go back there.
Okay.
I think it said good night, but
Good night.
don't you want to play with Sal? Who thinks they're a medium and has any psychic ability whatsoever? She does.
Well, I have relatives. You have anything you want to say? Every relative, I can go on and on for many stories.
No, I have to
You
speak
gotta-
English.
Whoops.
Speak English!
Yeah.
Okay, he says there was a rock that moved here. You're really bumming us out.
There it is right there. It had like a rainbow on it. It literally just showed up there. It manifested itself.
Well, it's a rock. Okay, here. Sal, come here.
Hey,
Talk to Sal, or we're going to believe that you don't exist.
talk to me, baby.
Yeah, see, that's nothing. That's jib. We brought everybody. We're sitting down. I don't know. You quit talking now. Where's Sal? Sal, what are you doing? Okay, it said amphitheater. We went to the amphitheater. We're sitting down. Everybody sit down. It's going to give us a show, right? Okay, turn off the lights. And it's that you're all white. Roger wanted me to ask if Jacob Waltz is here.
What the hell was that? What was that? He said, try again.
Dancing.
Dancing. It's looking forward to Sal dancing tomorrow night.
No, you gotta ask, are you looking forward to Sal dancing?
Will you be with us in the amphitheater tomorrow night for the show?
Movement.
Movement. That makes no sense in context. I'm not even going to pretend that makes sense. Is there someone here with us? And
Don't tell.
don't tell what?
Don't tell
I got
what?
a picture of on top of the ridge. I was standing here with Dan and Bob Hopper when it happened. This was Dan and Bob's camp.
Well, that's it for the ghost hunting stuff. Tomorrow is another day. So you've seen the Peralta maps then, or the stones, what do you call them?
The Peralta stones.
And you've studied them.
Yes.
So then where is the treasure?
The treasure, according to the map, it's somewhere deep in the interior. Jacob Waltz said you can see Weaver's Needle from the mine, but you can't see the mine from Weaver's Needle. He said it cast a shadow pointing directly towards his mine. Up to this day, no one has found it. Now, we got a guest speaker coming in tomorrow night named Jack San Feliz. He claims he knows where it's at. He's got it detailed in his book. I mean, I love and respect the guy. He's spoken at our lectures at the museum. But it's just a theory, and unless it's actually been found. I've had so many people come in over the years claiming they know and it all panned out to nothing. So I do respect the guy. He's been a treasure hunter, been in this mountain for close to 40 years, and he believes he knows where the location is finally.
Well, here we are. It's day 2 of this Superstition Mountain Rendezvous. People just getting out of bed right now. Some people are still sleeping. Campfires going on. People making coffee. Let's just walk around, maybe see who's where, what's going on, if we see anything happening here. So I guess the plans are a little bit later. We're going to go for a hike and go check out some stuff. So till then, I guess we're just going to chill for a while. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, River? Say hi, River. Say hi. Yeah, wave to everybody. Yay! So we're waiting for these, I guess the speaker's going to start. You know, Wayne made his famous chili. You know, he makes famous chili. Well, he made his famous chili.
Everybody hear me. All right, welcome to the 19th annual Dutch Hunter Rendezvous 2023. Got to step back from the mic. Turn it down a little, Trevor. As we continue to modernize our technology, now we got the wireless lab. See what happens. We were going to do it in the amphitheater. We decided to move up here. It's pretty comfortable. If it gets cooler, we'll light the fire up. So welcome everybody. Thank you. We had a great crowd last night, about 50 people around the campfire. We had a good time. When Rick was in the hospital that last stint, he kept talking to me on the phone, and we were talking a lot. He kept telling me, I gotta get you to meet John Wayne Galloway. We gotta get together, we gotta get together. And then somehow, otherwise, Mr. John Wayne Galloway and I ended up touching base and so forth. And a great gentleman, spent a lot of time in the mountains. Good friend of Rick, a lot of other people, Ralph Holder. But if you put this in your pocket.
We went hiking one day, and we spent 15 days looking for it. I finally found it, and I told him, here it is. He looked at me, he said, no, that's not it. Just the way Bob was. Keep it secret. But the 16th day, him and Bob being a 7-day Adventist, we left on the Sunday. We didn't do anything on the Saturday, we left on the Sunday. But I've spent a good number of trips in the mountain with Bob after that. Stayed in his camps, went by myself. We lived in tunnels, in red tanks. We lived in a large boulder rock in actual wash in the large box area. And up until Bob's death in 1991, we were friends, acquaintances, and Ralph and I hit off, and we spent the next, I think, almost 10 years together till Ralph passed away in 2013, I believe it was. And Ralph showed me more things than I ever thought possible. We went into the Labarge box, stayed there quite often. We ended up looking at different things over by Charlie Boy. And Ralph basically took me under his wing and showed me how to look at the mountain like a person would read a book. There are so many things in that mountain that are unbelievable. You have to see them to believe them, actually. And he showed me one day in this area, he said, watch this point. And I watched, and I watched. And about 3 in the afternoon, I'm looking at this thing coming up with the sun coming down. And it was Weaver's Needle setting on the Dutchman mine. And I thought, that's unreal. And it is. It sets on the Dutchman mine. But you wouldn't think it would be, you know, like late in the day, not 3 in the afternoon, doing down there. He said, looking at numbers. I said, what do you mean numbers? He said, 4, 5, 7, and 6. There's 4 treasures there, small ones. He said, the big one is behind them, under the mountain. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna check this out. So I went up the mountain, and I found a hole in the rock. And when you put a stone in the hole and push it with a stick, you can actually put your ear up to the hole and hear it hit the floor. So obviously the mountain is empty, so to speak, inside, or there's nothing under it. So Ralph and I, we on a Mexican miner panning gold, and a woman, which I think is where Ted DeGrasse got his faceless people from. There's a woman with no face holding a child beside her with no face. And when Ralph showed me this, I thought, this is crazy. Because, you know, who would know to look at this stuff and see what you see? Because there are certain times of the day that you can see stuff. There's certain times of the night you can see other things. And at the Dutchman, and I'm pretty sure it's a Dutchman mine, there is a horse's head. Now, a lot of theories are that the Dutchman had a mine. I don't think he did. I think what he had was the Peralta treasure. He found it. And when he found that treasure, the only reason I believe that is because over this tunnel, I don't know if you call it tunnel, it might have been for the Dutchman, but now it's all filled in with rocks. But when you go, you can go 12 foot in behind the horse's head. And there's a burrow beside the horse. Not an animal burrow head, but what is a burrow? A hole in the ground, a tunnel. So I went up to this area. Ralph turned around and said, boost me up, which I did. He got inside, 12 foot or so, 12, maybe 15, and he went to the right and he said, you can't go any further. It's all filled up with rocks. Which, according to a book that I read in Tombstone Library, it says that the Apaches, when they found out the Dutchman knew that the treasure was there, they filled it up with rocks, which is just exactly what was in this hole behind the miles in. It's an easy, I used to hike in and back in one day with no problem. But now I'm older. I have 2 replaced knees, 2 replaced hips. I had cancer, I had a broken neck. So I'm not going hiking anymore. But if you want to know where the Dutchman is, you go to Peralta Trailhead, you go straight across, make a left, go over the hill, go down the hill, make a left, go right, and make another left, and go right again, and you'll be right there. Now you know where the Dutchman is.
Having me out here. I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet because there's a little more important people than myself that needs to be speaking up here than myself. The camp that you're in, we have been leasing this property from the Forest Service since about 1951. Obviously, it didn't start out like this. We slowly and surely built all these beautiful buildings and bathrooms, important bathrooms, for all these events. If you're ever out here for the trek, anybody ever for the trek? I'm not seeing any hands, but that's what this camp was originally built for, was for the one-day event that we had in March for the trek, and now we use it to teach 3rd and 4th graders the legend, history, and lore of the Southwest. And it's, again, a great pleasure to have you out here. I've been watching you come and go all day and been in some of your events, and it's always a pleasure. The Dons have been around since about 1931. We were actually part of the YMCA to begin with. We were called the Triangle Club. A couple years later, they voted. 1 or 2 years later, they voted and became the Dons. In 1975,
in place of that. The first thing that happened was I asked if it knew anything about something, and it said no very clearly in a man's voice, in a spirit box. And me and Sal were just messing around, so I asked, did Sal do something to you or something like that? And it said yes. And then me and Sal were laughing because thinking it's just random stuff. So we asked, do you know Sal? And Sal said, yeah, do you know me? And it said, I know Sal. Then we went out that last night and we literally mocked the spirit box and everything all night. May have been a mistake on my part, but it was fun. Our guest this evening, Mr. Tom Van.
Tom Van, it's got another piece to it, it's quite long. It's Van Slam Rum. I worked at A&B Prospecting for many years, and I probably saw over that time you guys coming in here to find metal detectors, gold pens, rock picks, and all the other stuff. Anyway, I'd like to talk to you today about something that's going on that is not in any history books. The Egyptians from Egypt landed on our east coast in 2200 BC. And they went inside and they said this would make a good city. So they constructed a city in the Great in that city. And they landed on the east coast 2200 BC. It took them 50 years to go across the United States, mapping all the rivers here.
Jack Carlson contributed a whole bunch of books and stuff in here. There's a box of Superstition Trails East in the back. Those are free copies that Jack brought in. So if you want a copy of Superstition Trails East, there's a box with some possibly still left in it. Jack has also copies of his books. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend, Mr. Jack Saxton.
Can you hear me out there? In the back, can you hear? I have a question. What's an Italian from Pittsburgh doing out in Arizona looking for the lost Dutchman mine? I sure as hell don't know, but I came out here about 35 years ago, said if I could stay and hike during the summer, that I could move out here. So for 2 summers, in August, my wife and I hiked the Peralta Trail. Boy, I can't even find that place now. and Lord, that seems like ages ago, and it sure was. And so I spend my time hiking the mountains, searching. I ran into some guys named Tom Collinmore who shared some stories with me, and another fellow that opened his house to me, Greg Diggs, scattered throughout his house. He finally built himself a library to put everything in, or mostly everything. So I do want to acknowledge Tom Collinmore, the late Tom Collinmore, for his contributions to the Superstition Mountains and keeping the stories alive, and his chronicles. And Greg Davis for being a friend and had a helping hand to an old Italian, young Italian. Write a book on the Lost Dutchman. I came out here for the weather. And in the meantime, I got interested in the stories, the legends, and said, why can't I go out and look for some of these things? And so I hooked up with a guy named Jack Carlson. And Jack Carlson and I, for about 15 years, believe it or not, 15 years we were traveled all the canyons and highways and byways of the Superstitions. And I run into some strange characters on the way. A guy by the name of Bob Shoes. And he was full of stories. And a guy by the name of Sal. Sal introduced me to the fact that some legends are larger than the residue of those cowboys that wore long guns. They wore these big 6-inch, 8-inch, 44s, 45s, and they thought they were cowboys. They probably had never been on a horse, but they've been in the mountains and they ride in their 4-wheel vehicles and do whatever they could, leave it. I filled up 353 ring binders in my search for the truth of the Lost Dutchman legend. Not only did I fill up 353 ring binders, but I filled up a computer with 10,000 photographs of my stories and of the places that I had traveled and some of the things that I had found. Now, along the way, what I found was that a lot of the early stories were all nothing but rap. So I spent 30-some years verifying this story and finding and what was real and what was not real and what you could verify. And if you couldn't verify it, that was you just set it aside. Greg Davis and I, we went down to the archives and the University of Arizona State, and we looked for something on the lost soldiers. And I thought I'd better get this story out if I'm going to write it. And so after my last book, I thought I would get all my notebooks together, get everything together that I thought was worthwhile, and dig back in one more time and stick. Well, I believe that I was there, and I'll tell you, I'll regress a little bit in time and go back to 1994. After I had met Billy Martin Jr., I went back up there with another guy, an old cowboy named Don from Wyoming or Montana, I don't know, but the only person I ever knew hiked in cowboy boots. He was a cowboy do or die and he probably died with them boots on. But we went out in the mountains and he was enamored with the story of the Peralta stones, the Peralta stone mats. And so he wanted to go up Hewitt Canyon and look for a place where he thought they might be. And he heard that there was a rumor up there that there was a rock that looked like a heart. So up we go, and we're looking back and forth, crisscrossing Hewitt Canyon. And so I find I drove to it. He gave me the combination to the gate. I drove to a windmill. I find the trail. He had pointed it out on a map and on a photograph. It wasn't a problem finding it. The problem was getting up it. The trail was a mountain. You had to walk 1.5 miles up to get to Roger Ridge. Herman Petrash. He found a mining claim. Herman couldn't file it though. You read in my book why he couldn't file a claim. He had Jim Bart, a very worthy, trustworthy type of guy, file the claim for him because he couldn't do it. Now, we can go on and on and on, and I could speak for hours about this, but I don't want to do it. it'll wear me out, my voice, and I'll get worn out talking about it. But I started putting these things together. We said, look, there are people that are naysayers. They said, it's never there. It's over at Weaver's Needle. It's over at Peters Mesa. It's over in the Red Rocks. No. Nothing there fits all of the relevant stories. And then you gotta have gold, and you gotta have a place where gold was taken. Not only that, but the gold taken from the Dutchman, under Dutchman's bed, was analyzed by Joe Portier. And there was a beautiful story written on it by Clay Worst. By the way, quoted by Greg Davis, who quoted it later on. And he said, Joe Portier found out this. And this was the value of this ore. It would blow your minds. Because the Dutchman said it would make 20 men millionaires. By God, today it would make 40 men millionaires. Maybe 50 or 60 with the value of that gold. And so I took a lot of samples up there and I had them all analyzed. And guess what? They all have gold in it. They all had gold, and on average, there half ounce of gold per ton, valued out. Exponentially, you take that. This is the throwaway stuff that's waste. Value, the location of the mine, and the clues that were valid. The clues are in there, a bunch of them. And they weren't all by one person. No, because the only person left the valid clues was the Dutchman. And he wasn't alive to take anybody anywhere. But it all fits. When you get, it's like a puzzle. One of these puzzles. And you set out on the table and you start with two pieces. And that's the way I started. With two pieces, and I wound up filling in all those little blocks. Until I got to somewhere where I can honestly say, Jack, you've told the truth to the best of your ability, and the truth shall set you free. Thank you very much.
Thank you everybody for coming. We will be lighting the fire. Stick around if you want.
And that was that. So it's another night. So it's time to say good night. I'm not sure what's going on in the morning, but we'll get up in the morning. We'll see what's going on. But anyway, so it's good night from now from the Superstition. See you in the morning. Hey Sal, I heard you got some crazy stories to tell.
Which one you want me to tell you?
How long you been out here in the Superstitions?
42 years.
43 years?
42.
42? Hell, I'm not even 42 years old yet.
Oh, God.
No, that's not true. Yeah? So, what's the strangest thing you've ever seen out here in the Superstitions?
The most strange ever thing...
tell them the truth. It's okay for this. It's okay for
the most strange people I've ever seen is the people that hike in and hike out in this mountain. That's the most strangest people.
Real people.
Real people.
Yeah.
And some of them are what I call level, and some are pretty out there. You know, you heard so many stories that when I first come here, I laugh at all these stories. 42 years later, and I never laugh again, because I learned to listen and be prepared.
Oh, cool. That's the motto. Be prepared.
Be prepared. What happened? We went through Los Alamos State Park to the cliffs, and then in the way we come down, was hiking. I was the rear, always the rear because I like to go slow. And the leader, which is Ron Eagles, he was a veteran. For whatever reason, he decided to step behind. He hardly ever do. The next thing, like 6 feet away, two aliens that tall. The arms were about that big.
Aliens?
Aliens. They was blonde-headed. They was wearing black glasses, but they had no mouth. And their suit was one-piece suit up to here. And then when I look at their feet, they was like that much above the ground. It's like a
Teleport. Or,
something like, you know, off the ground. If you see them walking,
Like they hovered.
yeah, like hover. But
Hover.
it's built into the boat. Some way somehow the material is built into the boats, and there was one half their size. From here out was the same chest measurement, but from the legs down, his legs were half a size, and it don't make no sense because when you're a dwarf and you have the same size full person and short legs, you know.
You wobble.
No, your measurement don't match.
Oh, yeah.
Because you measure from here to here, have to match your measurement from here to your legs, and the bottom part don't match. So I said, that kind of strange. So I asked them, where you going? They told me around the mountain, to the back of the mountain. And I told them, say, if you're gonna go on the mountain, you better take water because you need water. And the mechanical boat, they say, we don't need no. But the lips don't move. And they went around like from here to over there.
They were gone? Wow.
They appear out of nowhere and went out of nowhere, out of nowhere.
That's freaky. Venture's come to an end on this one.
Yep.
So until the next adventure starts, which there's some ventures planned.
Huge adventures.
Stay tuned for all of those.
We're gonna go, and we're gonna follow up on the back door of the spiral staircase that nobody knows about. And Jack and I, we're gonna go up there, and there's a special, beautiful hole up there, and we're gonna rappel into it.
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't know if Jack's gonna go into the hole, but I'll go into the hole.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to the bottom of the truth, or at least we're gonna try to get to the bottom of the hole, because the hole might just keep on going.
But we also got to go out to that place where we thought that the strange stuff was happening, where we thought maybe there was like aliens or something out in all of that spot.
Oh, the Phantom Road.
Yeah, out in all of that.
Yeah. And
we have to do that.
The cow mutilation.
Yeah.
Looked like they were cow mutilations.
Yeah, we got to go find out what's going on out there.
Yeah,
cool.
We gotta do that.
Anyways, it's been fun. Thanks for showing me around, bud.
Hey, no problem, bro.
Well, I guess this is it for this weekend. It's been quite an adventure. Heard some speakers and got to go on a little bit of hike. There sure is a lot more to explore, but we'll have to leave that for another day. But anyway, sure want to thank you guys coming along and sharing on these adventures. So, hey, until our paths cross again, thanks for watching, everyone.